Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my in-depth thoughts and analysis on the brand new Transformers Studio Series reveals. I did just recently give off my initial thoughts on the reveals, however these were based on very low-res images. Here we finally have the high-res images officially by Hasbro, so I can go into more detail on these particular figures. Starting things off, here we have the 2007 Chromia Bumblebee. This is a Bumblebee figure that I wanted ever since we got the 1970s Camaro. This brand new Bumblebee in robot mode looks absolutely fantastic. You can really see the attention to detail that Hasbro and Takara are putting into these figures just by looking at this particular Bumblebee's chest. His arm cannon is also exceptionally detailed, and I must say the overall transformation definitely does seem to be ever so slightly different from that previous version. The only evidence I can see of reusing parts seems to be in the transformation of the feet, but other than that it does appear to be a completely brand new sculpt. Taking a look at Bumblebee's Camaro mode, this looks so faithful to what we see in the film, and this particular figure can also double as a 2007 Bumblebee as well as a Revenge of the Fallen version. I wouldn't mind betting that the Revenge of the Fallen version of this particular Bumblebee is released with a normal arm and actually has Bumblebee's face as opposed to this battle mask. It is not apparent at the moment whether or not this particular figure will in fact include an alternate head or arm cannon, however nevertheless the figure that we actually do get looks really well done, and as you can see this figure seems to be painted exceptionally well with a really vibrant yellow colour and some fantastic silver paint detailing. This particular Bumblebee could very well be the most definitive Studio Series Bumblebee to date, and I really can't wait to add him to my collection to complete my Transformers Studio Series 2007 Autobot cast. Now taking a look at the second figure revealed, here we have the Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Soundwave. This is once again a really nice looking figure and seems to be an amalgamation of both the Deluxe Dark of the Moon Soundwave and the Human Alliance version. This figure is really well proportioned and will also include a Laserbeak figure. Once again, from this official image, it is still unclear whether or not this figure will in fact have a silver premium paint deco. However, the details on the figure look really nice. This figure unfortunately does not include his blaster, and I perhaps would have preferred that other than to have a Laserbeak figure, but nevertheless Laserbeak is Soundwave's partner in crime, so I guess that it makes sense for him to include a Laserbeak. The Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG Alt Form also looks really nice as well, and there is some really nice sculpting and detailing on the front grille section. Turning back to the robot mode, this particular figure could be possibly the most accurate representation of the Dark of the Moon Soundwave due to its very well proportionate arms and legs. This particular version of Soundwave is my preferred version over the Revenge of the Fallen version. As you can see from the Soundwave, they've actually managed to put the wheels up upon Soundwave's shoulders, much like what was apparent in the movie, and he will in fact have an extremely detailed head sculpt. This particular figure will be sure to be one of the figures that fly off shelves, seeing as he is one of the most popular Decepticon characters ever to grace the Studio Series toy line. Now the next reveal I'll be taking a look at is probably the most unique Studio Series reveal ever to be revealed by Hasbro, and that is an Arcee, Chromia and Elite 1 3-pack. This particular release will be a deluxe class price point, and each of these figures will amalgamate to a rough deluxe class scale. The figures will be considerably smaller than a deluxe, however the overall quantity of plastic will be equivalent to a deluxe, so I'm definitely glad that Hasbro went with this option instead of releasing these figures individually, and surprisingly they actually look really detailed and they will in fact transform. I don't necessarily expect the transformation to be too involved as these are really small figures, and at the panel it was suggested that these particular motorcycles will be in fact in scale with the other Voyager, Leader and Deluxe Studio Series figures, so expect these to be extremely small when they are released. But nevertheless they all look really well done for their minute size, and the detail and sculpt work looks great. All three of Arcee, Chromia and Elite 1 will be comprised of complete unique molds, and none of them will share exact same molding, much like was apparent in the Deluxe Class Revenge of the Fallen toy line. It's great to see all of these characters finally having their own distinctive molds, as in the movie they are all their own individual CGI models. Each of these figures look really great, and as I stated, these are the most unique Studio Series figures ever to be revealed, so it opens the door for other Studio Series figures such as Wheelie and Brains and even Frenzy. This is definitely a deluxe pack that I'll be sure to add to my collection, and will probably be one of the most unique figures ever to grace the Studio Series toy line. Now turning to a reveal that I think surprised many of us, here we have our first look at the World War II Autobot Hot Rod. Now this is a figure that is just a reuse of the World War II Bumblebee mold, however it has been given a completely brand new paint deco, will include a unique blaster as well as a Hot Rod head sculpt. This particular figure is definitely a surprise to me, as I never thought we'd see Hot Rod in the Studio Series, at least not yet. This particular figure will be a great inclusion as it finally gives some use to the World War II Bumblebee, who at the moment looks rather out of place on the shelf considering that he is the only figure who has the World War II aesthetic. This particular release, whilst being a reuse of the mould, is definitely a nice inclusion as it does fill some of those Studio Series gaps, and having Hot Rod into the line opens the potential possibility of actually getting a Lamborghini Hot Rod as they already have the head sculpt on file. This particular figure looks great with the brand new paint deco and definitely appears to have a completely brand new chest. Hot Rod in the film was a different vehicle to Bumblebee, so it is great to see that Hasbro are not just reusing the mould and are actually making subtle retools to it in order to give us a reasonably new figure and to give fans a reason for double dipping this particular mould. I'll be sure to add this figure to my collection as I think he will look great next to the World War II Bumblebee, and once again it is Hot Rod from the last night. So they are my thoughts on the brand new Transformers Studio Series reveals. Personally, I think each and every one of these reveals deserves to be picked up. I'll be sure to collect all of these and reveal them when they come out. Their expected due date is January 2020 as this will actually be the first Studio Series wave of 2020, and at the panel it was actually stated that they are looking to develop the Studio Series through 2020 and beyond. This is great as this gives us enough time to really delve into the mythology of the movie characters and possibly get some more obscure characters such as Frenzy, Brains and Wheelie, and even some big time characters such as Shockwave and Leader Class Sentinel Prime. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know down in the comment section below, and be sure to let me know your thoughts on these particular reveals down below. Thanks for watching.